Well, to find out more about the SENS Research approach to aging, Mark New sat down with Aubrey de Grey. He's a gerontologist and co-founder of SENS Research. He's also the editor-in-chief of the scientific journal Rejuvenation Research. He began by asking de Grey to define aging.
It is strange. Most people, if you ask them what aging is, they give a very wishy-washy, hazy, nebulous definition, and they kind of betray the fact that they don't really know what they're talking about. But actually, aging is not a mystery at all. Aging is a very straightforward thing. It's simply the accumulation of damage as a side effect of the normal operation of the human body. In that sense, it is just the same as aging of a simple man-made machine, like a car or an aeroplane.
But you believe that damage can be reversed?
I believe that the process of creating damage cannot be reversed, but nevertheless the damage itself can be repaired, which of course amounts to the same thing. We restore the body in terms of its structure and its composition to something like the state that it was in at an earlier age when there was less damage. People have this crazy, completely biologically unjustified idea in their heads that there are these various chronic progressive diseases of old age, like Alzheimer's or atherosclerosis or whatever, and then there's this completely separate thing called aging, which is not a disease and perhaps not even in principle amenable to medical intervention. It's total nonsense. The real problem is that the diseases of old age should not really be thought of as diseases like infections at all. We spend billions and billions of dollars all over the world trying to bash away at them as if they were infections, as if we could eliminate them from the body. You obviously can't eliminate them from the body because they're side effects of being alive in the first place. So what you've got to do is preempt them by repairing the damage that is eventually causing them. And that's, of course, what we're trying to do. So if this were all understood properly and we didn't have this crazy dichotomy between diseases and non-diseases, then sure, we would see an enormous level of recognition and understanding of how important this is and how valuable it is to put serious money into it.
What type of age-related damage do you think we're closest to repairing?
The one that we are closest to pretty clearly is cell loss, because stem cell therapies are coming. There are a number of stem cell therapies already in clinical trials, including for aspects of aging. Parkinson's disease is a great example, where there are a couple of very promising clinical trials going on using stem cells to replace the types of neurons that die at a very rapid rate in Parkinson's disease. There are one or two other areas which are fairly close, and there are lots of areas which are a long way off, and those are the ones that we tend to focus on at SENS Research Foundation because, you know, if they are neglected, then we're just not going to get a result.
We're here in Silicon Valley, where Facebook's lead investor, Peter Thiel, has invested in your research. Oracle's Larry Ellison, Google's Sergey Brin, they've all put money into this cause and have also made statements that kind of imply that they're either trying to cure or alleviate death or what causes death in some way. Is this Silicon Valley arrogance?
I would say thank God for arrogant people, because if we didn't have unreasonably arrogant people who thought that they could actually change the world in visionary ways, then we wouldn't have any of the technology that we depend upon today. We're always making progress somewhere. So every year, every month, there's something that moves forward, a new way of doing gene therapy, a new enzyme that breaks down some oxidized cholesterol that stops us from getting heart disease. It's impossible to say precisely how long it's going to take to develop these therapies, but just based on the rate of progress and my understanding of the remaining magnitude of the problems to be solved, I think we've got at least a 50-50 chance of getting to a decisive level of comprehensiveness in this area within the next 20 to 25 years. So that means in time for most people who are alive today.